Hi, welcome to Watch the Time and my review of the Seiko Arnie, the reissue version, and it's the reference SNJ025P1, and it's got the caliber H851 in it, and as you can see on this second hang tag, this product conforms to the Diver's Watch Standard ISO 6425-2018. So it's an ISO certified dive watch, and as you can see there on the dial we've got the 200 meters. Now this is the reissue of the Arnie watch, the watch that Arnold Schwarzenegger wore in a couple of movies in the 80s. It's grown a bit, it's a bit bigger than the original, but it's not too big. I quite like it, it's quite modern. I think they've done the right thing with this, and they've gone with the solar movement. It means that you don't really have to do anything with it. But I want to start off first of all with the elephant in the room, and that's this little guy here. Now, my previous video about this watch, I said don't buy it until you've seen this video, and that was to highlight the fact that Seiko themselves are saying that this little screen is going to fail after, you know, maybe 7 years. And do you think that's acceptable? I personally don't, because the watch is useless without it. I've had lots of comments. Some people say it's disgusting, some people say don't worry about it. I've had people say well, the watch will still work fine. Well, it won't, because you actually set the time using that screen, so without the screen the watch is useless. Just want to make that clear. But you know, I thought I'd put my money where the mouth is. I bought one, and we'll see, you know, in 7 years time, you know, 8 years time, we'll see. And if that screen does fail, I'll be in a position to see if it can be replaced, as simply as they suggest. At the end of the day, you know, it's a £420, $500 watch. I don't think they should be saying that anything on it should be failing within 10 years. I mean, I just don't think it's acceptable. If I can just highlight this. This Casio is from about 1980 something. It's about 30 years old. This was my first ever Casio. It cost 12 quid. Equivalent now would be about double that, would be about £24. It's a great little watch, and look at the LCD screen on it. It's absolutely perfect after all this time. I mean, it's scratched to buggery, but ultimately it's still working absolutely fine after 30 years. So to say that something's going to fail after 7, I don't think that's particularly acceptable. But we'll move on from there. Obviously you can see the box it came in. That's the strap it came with. It was actually okay on that strap. I didn't mind it, but I put it on this NATO and it just works perfectly on that, and I'll put it on wrist and show you it in a little while. Obviously we've got a main screw down crown. We've also got 2 pushers with screw down shrouds on them, and the way the watch functions, it's quite intuitive. It's got some good modes. I would have liked a countdown timer, but I can use the bezel to do countdown timing for cooking and that. My alignment is okay. If I push it right back against the stop, as you can see, the alignment is slightly out, but you can just shift it slightly and it's okay. You know, for a Seiko, that's not bad. So these 2 here are pushers, and you can just unscrew them very simply. Doesn't take a lot, and there now you can see the black line means that they're now active. This bottom one is like a mode one, typical Casio sort of mode button. That we've got a dual time zone there, then it goes into a stopwatch, and to start the stopwatch it's to start, stop, and the same one, press and hold to reset. Then you've got the alarm, and then back to the time, and then the date. So you can have either. This functions as a light. There you go. And if you press and hold it, it shows you the battery status. Now, this spends quite a lot of time, or it has spent quite a lot of time, in a darkened room, in a dark box. It does go to sleep at night. It goes into like a save function mode, and I've played with the light a lot and tried not to let it have any daylight, and the lowest I can get the battery is down to bat 9, and it's 9 out of 10. So it's obviously quite efficient when it comes to charging, and it doesn't need a lot of light to do that, which is great. I'll just show you what I mean about setting stuff. It is quite intuitive of this. I'll just go quickly to the alarm. As you can see there, it's set for 10 o'clock. So we'll change that on. I'll set the alarm to 9 o'clock. So unscrew the main crown, and then pull it out to its first position, and then you'll get it flashing, and then you can rotate this and that changes. There's like a haptic like click as it flips over the time. So I'm going to change that to 9. Actually no, we'll change it to 8 o'clock, and then basically push the crown in, do it back up, and we've set the alarm. And setting the time is all very similar, and the dual time and etc. and the date, it's all done pretty much the same. And so all quite intuitive, really handy, really useful way of doing things. I think you know, quite tactile way of doing it. Really like it. So obviously quite a big watch. We've got Hardgex crystal, got this plastic shroud which is sort of bolted on with Allen bolts. I think it looks quite tooly, it looks quite chunky, it looks like it's going to last pretty well. You know, I really like the watch. So I'm just going to compare it to the SKX, just so it gives you an idea of how squashed in the dial is. And you know, when you look at the difference in size, there's not an awful lot in it. The SKX is a slightly bigger, the bezel. And yeah, it just gives you an idea of the size of this watch. Pop it on wrist and show you what it looks like. Currently still wearing my Veya automatic. Really loving this watch. Talking of the Veya heritage and this watch, what a great 2-watch collection that would make. This everyday work, etc., weekends, fun, swimming, etc., diving, whatever. You know, these 2 watches, you know, you've got pretty much everything covered, haven't you? What a great little collection. So there it is on my just over 7-inch wrist, about 7¼ wrist. As you can see, it's a big chunky watch, but it's not too big. It looks nice, it's comfortable. You know, it's a wear all day long watch, no problem at all. I've worn it at night, no problem at all. I've really enjoyed wearing this watch. Absolutely fantastic. The little LCD screen, when you first look at it, it looks tiny, but it's fine. It works absolutely fine. It's handy for telling the date. The stopwatch function is really useful. As I think you can agree there, it looks really nice on this black and grey NATO. I think it suits it really well. I'm on a bit of a NATO thing at the moment. I've got bloody hundreds of them. I'll just pop some a lume picture in, because obviously it's Seiko, so it's got pretty good lume, but also you've got the backlight, so it doesn't really matter. You've got the best of both worlds. You've got the light and the lume, which is absolutely fantastic. Obviously it's a quartz, and the second hand, I don't know, sometimes it looks like it's hitting the markers, sometimes it doesn't, depends on the angle you're looking at it. It doesn't bother me on this watch particularly. You know, it's not an issue for me if it doesn't quite hit the markers. Quartz watches, it's a bit of a lottery when it comes to whether or not the second hand hits the markers as it's going round. There it looks like it's hitting them pretty good, and then it looks like it goes out slightly. But anyway, you know, ultimately the bottom line is it's a fantastic watch. I absolutely love it. There is still a bit of a black mark over the fact that, you know, we're not sure about this this little display, how long it's going to last. I guess mine will probably last a lot longer than average because I don't wear it as much. Just wanted to show you the case back there. It's really nice. So we've got a really nice polished effect. You've got the little Kanagawa or Tsunami wave thing, the Seiko wave thing in the back there. We've got the Prospex logo to show that this is part of the Prospex line. Made in China, Divers Watch 200, stainless steel, HS851 movement. Really nice, clean, uncluttered case back, and because it's nice and flat, it really suits wearing it on a NATO. As I say, on the rubber straps, it was absolutely fine, but I'm not a great one for rubber straps. I'd use the rubber strap if I was going to go diving or swimming. Other than that, I'll just keep it on the NATO, and it's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. So all in all, a great watch. I'm really glad I got one in the end. I paid full retail price for it. There was no deals to be had on it at the time that I got it, but to be honest, I'm kind of okay with that, in that I think it's value wise, I think it's pretty good. I like the system. I like these little pushers, these little protectors to stop you pushing it when it's wet, to make sure it's nice and sealed, and you've got that 200 meters of water resistance. You know, it's a proper certified diver, and I'm really pleased with it. So I'd like to know your thoughts on this, and you know, I've had lots of emails and messages about this little display. Some people are saying that Seiko are just trying to cover their asses, but I've not seen anyone else do it, and on any other models, and not even Seiko, so I'm really not sure what that's all about. But ultimately it is a fantastic little watch, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's definitely staying in my collection for the next, hopefully, 10 years. Anyway, this is Watch the Time. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.